Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the Saris MHS Modular Rack for two bikes right here on our 2021 Chevrolet TrailBlazer. The MHS is a unique modular system, meaning you can mix and match your accessories, you can move your trays around, you can even add on a tray to this bike rack. So the configuration I have here is where we have our two platform trays, and then you can get the add-on if you want to carry 3 bikes. So we'll talk about those different features with different weight capacities, different measurements, but we're going to focus on the Chevrolet TrailBlazer. That way you can make the best decision for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. The first feature we'll take a look at is the tilt-away feature. So we have this big lever over here, and then we also have this grip, or I guess this guard over here. So you're just going to want to pull that lever and go ahead and just let it drop down and hit the ground. If you have this fully loaded with your heavy electric bikes, that's gonna drop down quick, so keep that in mind, be ready for that, be ready to dodge your bikes. Now, why would you tilt your rack away if you wanna access your hatch? As you can see here, you have plenty of clearance with the TrailBlazer because of the way they designed their hatch. So we have those pedals, look at our long handlebars, plenty of clearance there, allowing us to get into our trunk and grab pretty much whatever we need. So if it's those waters, those helmets, those backpacks, we can grab them real quick without having to take our bikes off. Now we're gonna have to lift this back up. Again, if you do have this fully loaded, you're lifting up all that weight, but once you get it to the right height, it's gonna immediately snap into place, and just like that, you're ready to hit the road. So we have different straps, we have different arms holding down our bike. So let's take a look at that. So we have a rear wheel strap, and that's holding that in place. I'll take that off real quick so I don't forget later. But you just press that lever and that allows you to take that out. But even without the strap, which is mainly a safety precaution, we have these two mounts to this side. So this is a design you usually see on something like the Thule Helium or the Inno tire hold. The main difference here is going to be where your clamps are. So notice here we have our clamps to the side. It's open here, so make sure you don't have your hand pressed against it, but rather facing the bike like this. That's going to give you that leverage. So I'll show you how to take the bike off. I'm just going to press this lever. That pops that out and loosens it. We're going to go all the way out there. Hold on to your bike as you do so, although we still have a good amount of hold up here. Then we're gonna get the other one. Let's pull that lever. It can get kind of tight, and let's go. There we go. With that release, this goes down. Keep holding onto your bike. You're just gonna grab it, and you don't have to lift high before you're ready to go on a bike ride. So with the bikes off, we get to talk about some different features. First is gonna be our wheelbase of 53-inch long bikes, although you kind of are limited by where your chock is. So this is your front wheel chock. We have that tray here with your different grooves or groove in there. So whether you have your really thin tires or your wider fat bike tires, this can carry those tires of up to 5 inches. While we're here in the middle, each tray has its own lock. So this is an integrated cable lock. So this pops out, then you can wrap the whole thing around your bike, secure it together, pop that back in. So this has already seen a good amount of wear and tear and road. So you can see with even the dirt there, we have our dust covers, keeping everything nice and clear. And here we have our straps. So this can move back and forth for those different wheelbases. This goes around your wheel when not in use or when your bike is off. You can even secure it at the back, which is a nice little extra feature I haven't really seen around. This is gonna secure your bike. I highly recommend using that strap and keeping it in its receiver when your bike is off. That way it's not flopping around as you drive around. These push in to secure your bike's wheels or tires and can be adjusted up and down depending on the size of your tires. I personally think that this really shines when you have your larger mountain bikes or your electric bikes, but it's nice to know that you have the option to switch things around depending on your bikes of different shapes and different sizes. So this is a 2-bike version without the add-on, so it doesn't take up as much space as the larger 3-bike platform. But let's take some measurements to see exactly how much. I'm gonna measure from our rear bumper to the end of the bike rack by this handle. It sits at 34 inches on the longer end for a 2-bike platform, but this is the MHS. Its focus is its modularity. So this is a measurement to keep in mind whenever you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a tight spot. Don't forget that you have bikes as well as a bike rack behind you. Since your TrailBlazer is on the compact end of that SUV world, it's nice to know that you have plenty of space to spare. Measuring for ground clearance, I'm gonna measure over by this handle to the ground. It sits at 11 3/4 inches. Now this is gonna be the guard, that's what's supporting your bike rack as you tilt away. So it's good that it sits a little bit further down. Compare that to where your bikes sit on the trays, and that sits at 17.5 inches. Compare that number over here by the shank. Your hitch receiver is at 10 inches, drops down over here by 9 inches. What are these numbers for? Well, ground clearance is important on your TrailBlazer, especially if you have a hitch like this, which is kind of lower to the ground, because what's gonna happen is as your front goes up, your back is gonna go down, and you wanna make sure that you have good enough clearance for your bike so that those don't hit the ground. But what if you're not planning on going out for a bike ride, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off because it is kind of heavy? What you can do is you can fold this up. So remember that lever we pulled earlier to tilt it down? We're gonna pull it again, but this time we're gonna lift and then bring it up. You can let go right here because the lever automatically snaps into place in the upright or compact position. Now let's take some measurements. Now, closest point is really close to our vehicle. In fact, it's about a 1/4 inch away from our rear bumper. Now, this is a very sturdy bike rack, so I'm not getting any closer than that. Now, our measurement for length now added to the back of our vehicle is gonna be from the bumper to the end of the bike rack about 8 3/4 inches. So very compact compared to when this was folded down. We'll have maybe an extra inch up here for the handle. You'll want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town and you don't want to take up too much room. But what is it like living with a bike rack behind your vehicle? Well, notice how our rear window is completely visible. That's awesome. Our taillights are visible as well. Now, pretty much any bike rack I've tried out on the Chevrolet TrailBlazer is gonna cover the license plates and the backup camera. Now, the only thing that I've seen that kind of keeps it open was the Hollywood Rack's Destination bike rack, that's just super compact. So this is just gonna be something that you're gonna have to work with if you wanna carry bikes on your TrailBlazer. If that's gonna be a major issue for you, you can just pull this lever, keep it in the down position. That way you can also have access to your hatch. So the version I have here, which is the platform for 2 bikes with an add-on for 3, has a 2-inch shank, which fits into our 2-inch hitch receiver on our TrailBlazer. You can also carry 2 bikes with a Saris MHS. If you get the 1-bike platform with a 1-bike add-on, then you can also carry 2 bikes there. But anyways, this fits right into our hitch receiver. We have a lock, and if you have your kits right, you use the lock cores to make sure everything is keyed alike. Definitely something worth looking towards in advance. We have an anti-rattle bolt tightening everything down. It uses, I believe, a 16mm socket, so it's on the smaller size. I use a ratchet wrench, makes it easier that way. But to demonstrate how that works with that anti-rattle bolt, I'm gonna try to make our bike rack around just to simulate that road movement and vibration. Over here by the shank, everything's pretty secure. Our car really isn't moving, although we do have a little bit of movement on the trays. So if you've noticed some movement on your bike rack, make sure that the trays themselves, since it is modular, are tightened down. That shank though is super secure. Your focus is going to be modularity if you want this system. If you want just a 2-bike platform rack, we have some other options. The inno tire hold is really good too. You have a great weight capacity with the inno tire hold with a very similar mounting system, and you don't have as much extra features that you're going to have to worry about or figure out. With the MHS though, this is designed to be added onto. This is designed to be built up. If that's something you're super interested in, switching out the trays, moving things around, you were able to see that it is a fit on the Chevrolet TrailBlazer, although it comes close when it's folded up. Hopefully this video helped you out with making the best decision for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. And that was a look at the Saris MHS modular bike rack for 2 bikes right here on our 2021 Chevrolet TrailBlazer. My name is Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed the journey.